Welcome back to Rob Black and Your Money.
Joining us today to talk a little tax efficiency investing is Andy Lee with Money Concepts. Andy, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me back, Rob.
Now, tax efficiency is huge. It is a very important part of investing efficiently and properly so that you can sock as much money away into retirement as you can. Can you review some ideas on retirement planning that might be beneficial to someone, especially if they're thinking about drawing off their 401k or drawing off their nest egg?
Yeah, that's the distribution phase of retirement planning. And, you know, what we're seeing more and more is we're understanding a little bit more of the tax efficiency of those withdrawals. 401k plans, IRAs, SEPs, those kinds of things are great programs. The only issue is every dime that you take out of that retirement plan is going to be taxable. With a new Roth 401k that came out last year, not all companies are offering it yet, but it is a good option to be considering, especially for higher net worth individuals. It allows you to be able to put money into this plan, allow it to grow and be tax deferred, and then be able to take that out tax free. So I think it's important to consider either a Roth IRA or maybe something as far as a cash value life insurance policy or something along those lines. Not more for the death benefit, but more for the investment aspect of it. And that way, when you take your retirement income, you don't need to draw as much down. For example, if you're in the top tax bracket and you need $100,000 net income, you need to pull out $165,000 approximately after taxes to net that $100,000. If half of that was in a Roth and half of that was in a retirement plan, you could draw down about $20,000 to $25,000 less per year to get the same net income and have that $20,000 or so compound for you over the rest of your lifetime. We're all living longer, and I think it's important to note that our retirement assets have to last as long as possible, and that's why understanding the tax consequences of those distributions is important.
Now, I work as a 1099 employee from time to time, and that opens me up to the world of SEP IRAs. Can you compare the 401k, the SEP IRA, and some IRA concepts for people?
Well, a lot of times a SEP IRA is recommended by a tax advisor or a CPA because it's a very simple plan. If you have a small company, say fewer than 10 employees, you have to make a contribution based on the percentage of salary that you put in for yourself for each one of those employees. Now, it is a good plan for everybody involved. It's just that if you're making a lot more money than your employees and you want to maybe skew the contributions a little bit towards the higher income types of people, you could consider utilizing a 401k and use what they call an integration method, whether it's Social Security integration or age-weighted integration, or they have a new comparability program. But the 401ks are typically going to allow higher contributions to the plan and in certain instances be able to skew those assets to the higher paid employees as long as they follow the rules by the IRS. I think it's really important to note, though, with the SEP IRA, it's probably a lot less expensive than it is for the administration on the 401k plan. But the idea is to analyze each individual situation for a small company, sit down and find out if the tax savings for the company are going to pay for the administration of the plan, pay for the contributions you may have to give to the other employees, and still benefit the owner of the company to be able to maximize their retirement plan also.
Now, speaking of independent contractors and small businesses, they tend to overpay in their tax situations. Any strategies that you can think of that might help them reduce their taxes or lessen their tax liability? And keep in mind, we don't want them going to prison for not paying taxes.
Well, you know, the IRS has a lot of codes out there that assist higher income-producing small businesses with being able to maximize the benefits for their employees. And there's been, or themselves also, what's happened is the IRS has really come down and identified a lot of the parameters for some of these programs. You may have heard of the 412I. That was a big buzzword back in the late 90s and early 2000s. But what happened was a lot of people kind of went off the edge of the universe here with these programs and really stretched the limits. The IRS came back and re-identified the parameters for that to make these plans a lot more solid. Welfare benefit trusts are another option. A Section 79 is kind of a supercharged Roth kind of a way to put together a program. But again, each one of these situations has to be independent for each person and each company. And I think that it's important that most companies that utilize these programs have consistent cash flow that they just need for a tax deduction. Right now, they're just paying taxes on it, and they're investing them in taxable accounts. So each situation is individual, and you really need to take a look at each one of those on a one-on-one basis.
Now, life insurance, it can be a great tool when planning tax liabilities, when planning to die and passing your estate on, and planning to die and passing your business on, and planning a worst-case scenario, dying and selling your business to your partners. Talk a little bit about life insurance and tax efficiency and how you can protect some assets from going to the IRS.
Well, you know, from a business standpoint, especially a small business standpoint, back in the 80s, I used to own a restaurant and I had a partner. Well, my partner was married, and the last thing I wanted to do, even though I liked his wife, if she or he had passed away, she would inherit the business and I would have a new partner. And I think that it's really important that small businesses that may have other partners really take a look at a buy-sell agreement and fund that with a life insurance policy. Again, that's to be able to protect the business itself and allow the partners who started the program to continue to be able to build the business and not have to worry about any problems with a new partner after somebody passes away. The other aspect might be key man insurance. If each individual in a business might have a specialty, if one of them passes away, having that insurance be able to pay to retain and recruit and train another individual to be able to be put into that place is only going to help protect your business and keep it growing so you have something to pass on to your heirs. And from an estate planning standpoint, of course, with the tax laws changing after 2010, the estate tax laws were dropping to $1 million in our exemption. There's going to be a lot of people, especially here in California, that really need to take a look at using some kind of irrevocable life insurance trust or a life insurance policy to create some cash that's available to the beneficiaries to pay those taxes.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for being with us, Andy.